Okay, I've probably told you before that spreadsheets are one of the most powerful calculators you could ever imagine. And we're going to see something of that power today. So on the left side of this document, and it says spreadsheets, functions is the name of the document, name of the spreadsheet. It's available for you to work along with me, try things out, to make sure you pause it and try these things. What we're going to do is we're going to start out looking at formulas, and formulas are things that we enter in. So if you recall, and hopefully we recall this, if I want to put in a formula to add those two numbers, 15 and 22, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the equal sign, and then I have a couple of options. I can type in B6. I think it's the right one. No, sorry, I want B5 plus C5. Hit enter, and they add those two numbers together. And if you're ever unsure if you did the right thing, change one of the numbers, and your result should update as well. Okay, now I kind of accidentally highlighted the problem with typing in the cell address. I had it wrong at first. So the more efficient, better way, in a sense, is to type the equal sign and then just click on the cell that I want to use. In this case, I want to subtract these two numbers, so now I subtract, hit the enter sign, or enter key. Multiplying, same kind of thing. Whoops, not there. Take that back. Let's go fix that. There we are. Equal sign, that was what happened. I clicked before I hit the equal sign. Equal sign, multiply, click on the other one, off we go. And then the last one, equal sign, that number divided by that cell. Okay. Now yours might be more than 2 decimal places, because I earlier was playing around. I set this to 2 decimal places. If you have a really long number, you can go to the format, number. I changed mine to number, but if it was just automatic, it looks like that. But if I go to format, number, make it a number, I can set the number of decimal places using the menu. So I can have more decimal places, I can have fewer decimal places. I like 2. Okay, so those are formulas. Formulas are things that we enter, and formulas can be very, very complex and very big, but we don't want them to be big if we don't have to have them big. So next door to that, I have functions sample data. And if I look at the bottom with that sample data, I want to find the sum, which means add them all up. I want to find the average, which of course means add them all up and divide by however many I have. I want to find the largest number, the highest. I want the lowest number, the smallest. And I want to find the median. And the median, if you may know this, is I take all those numbers, I put them in order from smallest to largest, and I find the middle value. But I also need to know how many there are to know which one is the middle. So a couple of those seem pretty easy. I could scan this list and come up with the largest and the smallest. Some, well, I could do a really long formula, but I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to use a function. And function is where there's a whole lot of math in the background, and I just tell the computer, do the math. So I'm going to start here with the sum, and I'm going to start the same way, start with the equal sign. But before I start doing any formulas or typing in anything else, I'm going to go near the top right-hand side. There's a squiggle on the menu that says functions. And if I click on that, I get several functions like sum, average, count, max, min. I want the sum. Click on sum. It pops up in my list, in my cell formula bar. Then what I'm going to do is click and drag to select the cells. So select the range of cells that I want to find the sum of. Hit enter, and all of those numbers get added up. If I want the average, same thing. I click on the equal sign to tell the computer I'm going to do some math. I go to my list of functions. There's the average, and I'm going to click and drag the range of cells, and there we have it. I could make that to be a number with fewer decimal places, so number 2 decimal places. Sure, 2 sounds good. I want to skip the highest to lowest. You shouldn't skip the highest and lowest, but I want to go to the median for a moment. Because if I go to my list of functions, and I have not hit the equal sign yet, and I'm aware of that, I don't see median in this list, but I see this option for more functions. And if I click on that, it takes me to a separate page that lists all the functions that are available. And if you take a quick look through that, there's a lot of different functions. So many so that I don't really want to go through them looking for median. But if I go into this filter box and I write median, I don't have to write too much or type too much before I find median. The name of the function is median. The syntax, so that means what it's supposed to look like when I use it, says median and then a list of values. And what that means is, if I start with median, and again, I don't have to type too much before it pops up, and I can just click on it. It gives me the opening bracket. I'm going to click and drag to select my cells. Whoops, not that much, just that much. Hit enter, and there's the median. And if you take a look through this list of functions, you'll find some that are good for statistical analysis, some that are more financial oriented if you want to figure out how long it's going to take you to pay off your loan or your mortgage or something like that, or what you owe your parents, whatever. All of those kinds of functions are in there. We will only use a few of them, pretty much the ones that we just got finished looking at. We'll get practice in class. There'll be a couple of assignments you can do, a couple that you hand in, and I'll get to check to see if you know what you're doing with functions. It's going to be great.